Hey everyone, welcome back to Fishing It Up. Today I want to talk about banning livescope. Should it be banned? How do I feel about it? And how has it affected me as an angler? So let's get into it. All right, guys, let's just get to the point on this. Let's talk about everyone and this whole discussion around should livescope be banned. You know, we as humans are really good at building upon what others have built, improving upon what others have built. It's a natural progression for us to end up with livescope. You start with flashers, you move on, and you just progress. That is our nature, is to build upon what someone else has done before us. So why should we stop that nature now? Why should we kill this? I mean, what is driving this question? What is bringing this up? Does everyone think just because you can see the fish that you automagically catch them? That's my new word here, is automagically. Because just because you can see them does not mean you can catch them. So automagically seeing them is not going to put them in the boat for you. Yes, it may increase your chances, but everyone that is good at using livescope to catch fish, there is still skill involved and they are still fishing. It may not be how you fished 20 or 30 years ago, but it is still fishing. So my opinion is everybody wants to bring in the younger generation. And now that you get them into the sport, because it involves electronics, something that they're used to, and it's also getting them outdoors and getting them into something that is good. You know, it keeps them away from drugs and other things. You bring this younger generation into the sport, and then you don't like the electronics and other things that are brought in to keep them there. These companies are pumping tons of money into the sport, and you expect them to just pull the rug out from under it and say, no, we're not going to use this because it makes it unfair. Unfair is when you don't have the same playing field as everyone else. Our skills are never going to be the same. Just like in a fight, you will never have a fair fight because you're never going to be equals. As much as you try, you will never have equals. So I really don't agree at all with banning livescope. It's just natural evolution of us as humans that we're going to end up at that point, and at some point we're going to end up with even better technology. Our issue is not that we are using electronics. It's this, that we are not teaching our fellow fishermen, the younger generation, about conservation. You know, if you want there to be fish for future generations, you want there to be fish for pleasure fishermen, you want there to be fish for the rest of eternity, you need to start teaching how to take care of these fish. So live well care, or talking to your tournament directors and creating or adopting new ways of fishing. There's apps out there now. There's a lot of ways around this so that you can go ahead and weigh the fish, photograph the fish, and put that all into an app and get the fish right back into the water before anything possibly bad could happen to the fish. Instead of hauling it around for 8 hours in a live well and at 80-degree water, you can go ahead and get all this information from the fish right in the boat, get it back into the lake, and then at the end of the tournament director can review the results and they can have a winner. I mean, there's lots of options out there. If nothing else, teach proper fish handling, teach how to fizz your fish, because weighting the fish down does not prevent those fish from being injured from their swim bladder swelling up. When you yank one out of 30-foot deep water and put it in your live well, you say, oh, I'm going to hang some weights off its fins. All that's doing is making sure the fish is upright. It does not make sure that its swim bladder hasn't expanded to the point that it's putting pressure on its internal organs. This is causing damage to the fish. These are the issues that we need to be talking about, is how we handle the fish, how we care for the fish. Should we even be hauling them around in the boat? Those are the things we should be talking about, not oh, he has electronics and he is using them. Yes, I see the younger generation using them. They fish with me, and a lot of times they outfish me. You take away their electronics, are they going to be able to catch those fish still? Maybe, maybe not. It depends on how long they've been fishing. But the thing of it is, these kids are in high school. They're engaged in something that is good for them. It's teaching them patience. They're interacting with other people, and they're not stuck behind a screen at home in a dark room. I mean, this is good for them. But we need to take care of what God has given us. He has given us lakes and fish and this world, and we need to make sure that we embrace that and we take care of it. So my opinion on this, my whole point on this is that I'm not against livescope. I have it. I couldn't wait to get it. Now that I have it, I couldn't fish without it. Yes, it makes me lazy because I can just go scan for the fish with side imaging. Should we ban side imaging because I use it? Nobody's talking about that, but I use it to locate bait fish. If I didn't have the side imaging, it would make it a little bit harder, unless I just absolutely could auto-magically find those as well, which I don't. So I use the side imaging, I locate the fish, I use the live scope to finish them off. But just because I can see them doesn't mean I'm going to catch them. I see a whole lot of stuff that makes it frustrating. And while we're talking about frustrating, I've heard people say that fishing is supposed to be relaxing. It's supposed to help your stress levels, and it's supposed to do this, that, and the other. Anytime that competition is involved, there's going to be some kind of stress. You're not going to relieve stress by fishing tournaments. If anything, it'll probably increase your stress level. But the fact is, you're doing something that you enjoy, and hopefully overall, that makes you feel better about the day and does relieve some stress. But if we're not fishing a tournament and we're using live scope to catch fish, you're still going to get frustrated. You're going to see them. They're going to run up to your lure. They're not going to bite it. So you get frustrated, and maybe you don't get that stress release that you need, okay? We do this same scenario without the live scope, and we cast all day trying to judge depth and other things based off of our regular sonar or whatever else we have available, and we don't catch anything. So was it stress relieving to just be out there, or were you just as stressful trying to figure all this out, all these pieces of the puzzle, trying to put that together? Were you just as stressed doing that as you were seeing the fish swim off when they run up to your lure? I don't know. But I still love fishing regardless. Yes, I would hate it if I didn't get to use live scope, but overall I think it's a great thing, and that we should just be preaching conservation and great fish care to make sure that this will continue on for generations to come. Hopefully you've enjoyed today's videos and you've found my opinions to be helpful. If not, let me know about it down in the comments. Tell me all about it, how you disagree with me. But as always, like, comment, and subscribe, and we'll see you next time on Fishing It Up.